Hey everybody, Purple for the Ages coming at you. How you doing today? um, Listen, I wanted to talk a little bit about that AT&T outage, and it's a very interesting thing because I have a unique take. My unique take is that by profession, I am in quality assurance. So from all these different perspectives online, it's basically, I hear question after question of, was this intentional? Was this a cyber attack? What's going on? Oh my gosh. And this is a proper channel if you don't know. Hi, how you doing? Um, Let me give you my perspective on it. Um, the old adage I've always heard is never uh, attribute to maliciousness what can be attributed to just idiocy. Yeah. Okay. So there was an outage and everybody's debating whether it was on purpose or not on purpose. I've been in quality assurance now for 32 years. Hi, I'm an old woman. How are you doing today? Um, I've been in quality assurance for 32 years. So I've seen things in motion for a minute, right? So I have seen where people who are not experienced, they have no knowledge of a product or software or hardware, want to, as soon as it's developed, because that's where the magic happens, they just get it out and they don't go through any quality assurance and they don't go any testing. They don't do any system testing, functionality testing, boundary testing, they don't do any testing, or they don't do enough testing just because they get it out the door. And the reason why the big Uber managers, I've seen this in the past. I haven't seen it personally now in any recent situations. Um, the the big bada bingas up top, the decision makers aren't the doers. They don't know what goes into it. Getting a product, they don't know what can go wrong. They don't want to know what can go wrong. All they know is if they can get the product out the door as soon as possible, they get a bonus. So let's go back to what can be contributed to on purpose, malicious, or just Dunning-Kruger. Um, I have seen on multiple occasions someone getting the product out the door because they've already promised it to their higher ups. They've promised the pie in the sky to the Uber leaders. They promised the pie in the sky to the Uber leaders, and in order to do this, the only thing that in order to get it out the door, they're going to have to cut corners. And a lot of cutting corners is, well, it's developed, isn't it? Just push it out. Whether or not it is development tested, unit tested, tested by quality assurance, they don't want that because that's just overhead. I can do it better, faster, cheaper, and get it out the door. And it's not the people that are in charge of that part really aren't in charge of the support part, which can be a conflict at times. So people who are not that experienced in these kinds of software and hardware developments, they get a bonus. As I said many times, they get a bonus to push it out the door in time. And they have no idea of the impacts they can have. And especially the higher up they are, the more in charge of all the chicanery they are, uh, they don't care. So in what can happen for that, what could possibly go wrong? What happens is the people underneath them try to mitigate. And one of the mitigation techniques is, okay, we'll just have a partial rollout, or we'll just have a slow rollout, or we'll just release it to, one group of customers instead of another group of customers, because everybody's everybody in their sphere is clamoring for the new functionality, whether it be functionality that is visible to the customer or not visible to the customer. Oh, we're clamoring to get it out. There's so much on our plate. So the big Ubers give the order for it to be released. And some people underneath them who are either being ignored, or they know they're not going to be listened to, or it's not going to be to their advantage politically, culturally, in the corporate fashion. They know that it's not to their advantage to say anything. So they go in amongst themselves and they start saying things like, let's have a slow rollout, slow release. So they release it to a few customers instead of the whole shebang. And so if it goes boom, they're not getting calls simultaneously from all of their customer base all at the same time. So I'm not going to say, fast forward to the point, I'm not going to say it happened in this case, but this could be an option for what happened. And people who should not be in these kinds of decision-making positions often are. So I do say that's within the realm of possibility that they started and they thought it was a good idea and they got their bonuses. But uh, and I should say, if it does well, they get their bonus. If it doesn't do well, they're busy punching down. Basically, they're blaming other people for it. You said we just finished development. Yeah, but it has to go through. No, no, you said it, so push it out. So it might or might not have gone through rigorous testing, and it might or might not have undergone a whole bunch of changes or a whole bunch of bug fixes before it went out the door. But in this world, we just want 100% profit or as much profit for as little work as possible, and dang the consequences. And there's always someone else lower on the food chain to blame. Um, that can happen. So yeah, some people say that this was an attack because it was a targeted thing. It only affected people in the United States, in certain time zones, in certain that might have just been a targeted release. They might have just rolled it out, rolled the software update, as they are blaming it on, out to a small, well, a segment of their customer base and not all their customer base. And that may be why it wasn't a worldwide outage. But I know other people have other opinions, and I respect other people and other people's opinions. But as a quality assurance engineer, I've seen plenty of times where upper management takes the initiative to roll something out before it gets properly vetted, properly tested, and ends up with a mess. And of course, as we all know, yesterday was a mess. So anyways, that's my take on it. Okay, I hope this finds you well. Take care. Bye.